What up investors, it's your boy Dayo. Welcome to Frunkla Investment, where I talk about Bionano Genomics on a daily basis. From Sunday to Sunday, I try to post at least one video. If you would love to learn more about Bionano Genomics, this channel is for you, okay? Feel free to subscribe to this channel, join other members of Bionano Genomics, those that are also invested in this company, and come here on a daily basis to learn more about their investment in this company. Whatever I show you in this video is just for educational purpose only. The financial market is a very dangerous place and you can lose a lot of money. Always do your own due diligence. Don't sue me, bro. Let's get to it. What's going on, investors? Welcome back to Frunkla, where I talk about Bionano Genomics stock every day. I have a beautiful news to share with you guys in this video. For those of you, normally I would make this video members only, but one of my members asked me to make it public, so I am going to make it public so that all of us can benefit from this video. The CEO of Bionano Genomics said something that I believe you guys need to be aware of. This guy literally spoke about everything that the company is set out to achieve in 2022, and this hyped me. Okay, I mean, the last time I was this hype about a video has been few weeks now, perhaps 2 months. I am super hyped about this video. Okay, I'm about to show you guys where Bionano Genomics is, what they plan to do in the next couple of months, next couple of quarter till the end of this year, and in the first half of next year. And I believe this is a very vital information. It's going to help you with your conviction in this company. Okay, but before we continue, I quickly want to speak a little bit about Pac Bio, because there was a news out yesterday about Pac Bio. And that is why the stock of Pac Bio, Pacific Bioscience of California, went up 10% yesterday. And I want you guys to understand that, look at this, Pac Bio enters agricultural industry collaboration. This is a collaboration, okay, with Corteva Agric Science to develop high throughput plant, pest, and microbial sequencing. Okay, they went into collaboration to develop something. They haven't even developed it yet. And if you guys take a look at this very well, you can see that this is about plants. And Bionano Genomics Sapphire device is also used by some agricultural companies out there, agricultural industry. But the thing is, we are much more focused on rare genetic disease, which in my opinion is where what is going to help humans. Okay, of course agriculture is also going to help human to increase the production of food, for example, to eliminate hunger, for example. But Pac Bio is more or less deep into all this plant and animal thing than Bionano Genomics. We are more or less focused right now on humans. Okay, so that is the first thing. Now there is a breaking PR. Okay, Bionano Genomics released a PR today about 7 hours ago. Let's talk about it before we dive into what the CEO of Bionano Genomics said about the company. I am super hyped. Alright guys, so this right here is the press release that Bngo dropped today. Okay, you guys can see Bionano Genomics announced participation, okay, at the American Association for Cancer Research annual meeting, spotlighting optical genome mapping applications and enhanced NX clinical capabilities for cancer research. Okay, this is about cancer research. This is Cancer Association research. Okay, and Bngo is going there with the next version of NX clinical, and this is the highlight of the post. Okay, they said I'm just going to move this to the side a little bit so that you guys can see it clearly. So Bionano Genomics will exhibit all of its solution relevant to cancer research. Okay, that's the first one. Exhibitor theater presentation will OGM research on complex genomic, blah 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 blah. And Bionano Genomics will introduce NS Clinical version 6.2, because right now I believe 6.1 is in the market. They want to introduce version 6.2, which will include powerful capabilities to analyze. Oh my god. Powerful capabilities for analysis of homologous recombination deficiency, HRD. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm not going to go into that. So these are the highlights. Okay, so the poster 5783, the title is Novel Genomic Structural Variation in Angiosarcomas. I don't know what that is. 2931 optical genome mapping workflow for identification and annotation of variants in hematological malignancies, and then 2933 utility of optical genome mapping for the chromosomal characterization of cell lines used in preclinical and clinical research. So now another thing that caught my attention right here is Dr. Nick Hill is going to be there. Okay, this man won an award in one of the events that just took place most recently, about cytogenetics, cytogenomics. All these experts were there. Dr. Nikki won an award, and he's also going to be there. He's going to be speaking. This presentation is going to happen on the 8th of April, then on the 12th of April, then on the 12th of April, this one. And you can see also Dr. Ravinda is there. Dr. Al Kashalbi, the Chief Medical Officer of Bionano Genomics, is going to be there. This is beautiful news, guys. You can see what the CEO of Bngo says about this. Then we can finally go to the next page and talk about what Bngo CEO just said about the company that I think you guys should be aware of. Okay, so he said, I quote, as one company with more solutions, we couldn't be more excited about participating in AACR. We believe cancer is a disease of structural variation. Like I've been telling you guys that cancer is a structural variation disease. So whenever Pac Bio or other companies, that are into sequencing, are talking about cancer, it brings us back to Bionano Genomics. Okay. And I continue. And our OGM and software solutions, which are available for adoption in-house and through our laboratory services, have the potential to make an impact in the fight against cancer. Excuse me. I am excited for the world to see NS Clinical version 6.2 with its innovative capabilities for HRD analysis, as well as our ongoing progress towards our goal of making OGM an essential tool in the arsenal of cancer researchers, end quote. CEO Dr. Erik Holmlin, Bionano Genomics. So let's talk about what the CEO said about the company. Okay, this is very, very interesting. All right, guys, so not to waste the time, Bionano Genomics CEO went to Maxim Group, okay, last week, and unfortunately I was unable to record that video because I was extremely busy. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the key point of what he said and why you guys should be aware of it. Okay, the title of this is Bngo CEO at second annual Maxim Group Visual Growth Conference, and you guys already know that we have Jason McCarthy. Okay, this is one of the analysts with a price target of $6 on shares of Bionano Genomics, presently rating the shares of Bngo with a buy rating. And he asked the CEO a lot of questions. Okay, but I don't want to dive into everything. I just want to show you guys the most important part of it in my own opinion. Okay, here you have it. So Jason McCarthy, he said, I quote, I have to read all this part so that we can go through it, and that is it about this video. Okay, it's not going to take your time. So he said, I quote, I spent time in a cytogenetics lab. Okay, this is Jason McCarthy, speaking, and it was at a hospital, and then we get requests all day for cytogenetic workups. And the workload just from volume is overwhelming, I would say. And there are more bigger hospital systems that have cytogenetics labs that you really would look towards first, that would look to they do a thing towards first that would look, I think this is some error, okay, from the translation, their workflow somehow, blah blah blah. So he was trying to tell Erik Holmlin that there are some bigger hospital systems out there that you would look to, blah blah blah. Then the CEO of Bngo came in and he said, I quote, yes, so I think cytogenetics is practiced at most academic medical centers and large hospitals. It is a revenue driver for these institutions and can be something that can drive procedures and a lot of so it's economically beneficial for them to have those centers. Then LabCorp and Quest, this is Quest Genomics is talking about, also process thousands and thousands and thousands of karyotypes and karyotyping. I think they meant karyotyping right here, not karyotype. Karyotyping and FISH assays for all sorts of cancers and genetic diseases every year. So there are many patients. You guys have to understand that LabCorp and Quest Genomics are one of the biggest out there. Okay. And our approach today is to focus on academic medical centers across the United States, and that will adopt the system and begin the process of integrating it into their production workflow. But there are a few things that need to fall into place, for that to happen, right? We need to address the reimbursement question. So this is where it gets interesting, guys. Please pay attention. Right? So they are not going to just stop doing FISH for which they get reimbursed right now, because that would kind of antagonize this their revenue equation, and they need to work on. And so what he's trying to say right here is, Bionano Genomics needs to work on reimbursement, solution for all these laboratories, because these labs are already running, FISH, and they are making a lot of money, and they won't just put it aside and adopt the optical genome mapping if reimbursement is not there yet. So now follow me. But they want to build the assay. They build it up as a reflex, right, that they use in research to study these samples that are negative by the standard of care, and they begin to build the case in their institution for broader adoption. Those data are published, and the AMA that approves CPT. So now he's talking about the CPT code that Bionano Genomics has already applied for. Okay, they are waiting, for results from this code. Okay, this code is going to help Bionano Genomics to be able to help all these, users out there, these large laboratories, with reimbursement. That is the target, guys. I hope you guys understand. If you don't understand, leave a comment below. I would gladly, explain to you guys. So he said, he continues, he said, code, which will be looking at our application for a CPT code in the future. So, and that looks at PLA codes that are being submitted by different labs that have developed LDTs, laboratory developed tests based on optical genome mapping. So what he's trying to say is, they are trying to address the FISH revenue equation. They are trying to address the reimbursement problem, and I think I missed something, guys. So they are not going to stop doing FISH reimbursement because that would their business, but they want to build an assay. They blah 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 blah. Okay, let's continue. Laboratory developed tests based on optical genome mapping. It creates this sort of critical mass of voice in the market that this is valuable technology. It starts getting reimbursed, and then there can be a process of converting traditional methods over to optical genome mapping. So in a nutshell, what he's trying to say is, once all these laboratories are able to reimburse, their optical genome mapping, on usage, that means they can start to convert, okay, all this FISH, analysis, karyotyping analysis, all to optical genome mapping, because the money is flowing, because these people have invested a lot of money into all this equipment, and they won't just put them aside only to adopt OGM, and then nobody's going to pay for a reimbursement. If patient comes to them, who is gonna pay? So that is what BNU is trying to solve. BNU has already applied for category 1 CPT code, and I believe this is also going, some laboratories out there are also right now they have applied for PLA codes, and some of them have developed laboratory test, and so that's more or less what is going on, guys. Now let me continue. They have to follow a rigorous path of assay development and validation under laboratory developed test, and we don't mark it sapphire for clinical use. That we don't this translation is not, I think computer translated this, but this is the path that people will work on, and so we focus on academic medical centers to get them to adopt for research use today and evolve down this. So what they are trying to do right now is, BNGO is focused on academic medical centers, okay, just for research purpose only. That's exactly what they're trying to do. From this research only purpose, they will move, once they solve this reimbursement problem, they are going to move into diagnostic services. That is what Bionano Genomics is doing, and that's what I've been preaching on this channel, for months. That is what BNG is trying to do. Right now, they are focused, they are selling themselves as, research purpose use only, and then as time goes on, they will switch over. Once they get the CPT code, for example, they are going to switch over, okay, to diagnostic services. Not that they are going to switch over like that, but the users are going to be using the Sapphire device for diagnostic purpose because they get reimbursed. I mean, it's as simple as that. So, Jason McCarthy of Maxim Group, he said, so I would like to tell you to touch on your 4-part clinical program, and does that represent a pathway to gain reimbursement more broadly? Now, this is it. The 4-part, I think this is critical program, clinical. I don't understand what this translation is doing, guys. Now, Erik came in and said, yes, you have got to go at this. Our board as Jason McCarthy. Okay, so there was a technical problem, and then Jason McCarthy says, sorry guys, just the technical difficulties. That happens with Zoom sometimes. But Erik, if you could kind of close with us, walk us through what is coming for Bionano Genomics, in 2022 and what we have to look forward to. Now, this is the closing remark. Okay, pay attention to this. Erik only said, yes, so 2022 is to be a year of continuing to expand the install base. Okay, and so we are seeking to get from 164 at the end of 2021 to 240 by the end of this year. And we are going to be focusing on reimbursement by applying for category 1 CPT code. I think they already applied for that, guys. We will continue to advance our next generation optical genome mapping instrument. Of course, the next generation instrument that is going to drop in the first half of next year. And so we will have a system in the field by the end of the year, like a pre-commercial system, beta system. Think of it as that and our clinical trials, which that is where I got cut off by important clinical trials to serve the medical societies that set guidelines, as well as the third-party payers that determine coverage for reimbursement. So what they are trying to do is, they are trying to get some clinical trials. Bionano Genomics is presently running some clinical trials, and those trials is going to serve the medical guidelines, medical societies, and then after they meet up with all this medical society, blah blah blah, it's going to help them to achieve the CPT code that they are trying to get, and then which later is going to lead into reimbursement. Okay, now let me continue. I quote, we are going to progress those, and we are going to launch a version of NS Clinical in the second half of the year that allows that incorporate optical genome mapping, that allows that. Guys, and we have already given a little bit of a taste of this out there. So some folks have been talking about it in OGM in NS Clinical, but that is going to be a full-fledged commercial version in the second half of this year. So a lot of great progress in commercial and product development and then market development. So I mean, in a nutshell, what this guy is trying to say is next year is going to be massive for Bionano Genomics. Okay, I believe this year is the final, how do I put it, what the final round, okay, of BNGO fighting with whatever is blocking them out there. So this year is the last stage of BNGO exploding, in my opinion. Okay, according to what the CEO just said, I mean, if they keep on with all these things that they want to do, if they get the CPT code, the category 1 CPT code, and then they are able to help all these large users out there, like LabCorp, for example, or Quest Genomics, if they are able to help all these large laboratories out there, to acquire Bionano device, the Sapphire device, and also to get reimbursed, okay, after BNGO accept, if they finally they have been granted the CPT code 1, this is going to be massive. How else should I say it, guys? Let me know in the comment section if you understand all this, whatever it is I'm sharing with you guys here. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. I mean, I'm trying my best to, translate. This thing was translated by computer. That's why it's so difficult, to read and understand it. But, I've been listening to, CEO of BNGO, and I can more or less put together what he's trying to say. And this, in my opinion, is a beautiful news. So, guys, please consider subscribing if this is your first time on this channel. I talk about BNGO on a daily basis. See you guys in the next video. Ciao, ciao.